Great. Welcome to another episode of Making Action the Greatest Habit. I love that we're doing this tonight. We have a group of wonderful women on here, each in their own right as an entrepreneur, taking action on their day-to-day basis. And I would just love to start this off with thank you for being here and thank you for your time and energy. I really appreciate it. I respect it. And I'd like to know what has been one thing that has really impacted someone's life in a positive way to start off with? Does anybody want to share about that?
Ian, you mean something that's impacted us in our lives?
Yes.
Oh, I guess I'll start out as I don't know if this is the direction you were headed, but I recently purchased some land and it's allowed me to disconnect from digital world a lot more and like just get connected with nature. And in my world, I find that not just I am benefiting from that, but everyone around me is feeling that groundedness. So that's been good in my world.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. Appreciate you joining in like that. Cool, cool. Jennifer, Lynette, Marina, have anything positively affected you in some great way?
I can throw in something here. I recently got back into a social marketing kind of situation, and I found that being in that kind of a situation really forces you to get out of your comfort zone and talk to people and be networking all the time. And I am a little bit of an introvert, and I find myself kind of pushing away from that. And so it's been really good for me to get back and start up conversations with old friends and just really get connected again. So that's been really good for me.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Wow, wow. And Lynette, what about yourself? Because I know you do a lot of energy healing and you have a lot of impact on other people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like what's impacted me lately is moving back to San Antonio from Wyoming, which has been huge because it expanded my network by like, I don't know, 1.5 million people. Um, and then joining a networking group that was in person has been really powerful. And then also doing dinner with strangers, if you haven't heard of that, time left. I love having dinner with strangers. Like it's just fun. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys get to connect. You specifically connecting with like so many different people, and then dinner just one-on-one. That's awesome. There's always something special about having one-on-one quality time with someone and having it be in person. And
Yeah.
Marina, I'm curious to hear from you. Like, I know you have it's five children, correct?
Six.
So, my apologies. With six children and everything that you have going on in your life, and this might be a little bit of transition, but like, how do you find yourself being able to do everything you need to do and still holding your position as an entrepreneur and a chief financial officer, so to speak?
I think it's just a lot of balancing. Luckily for me, I have a really great support system. If I'm having struggles or I need something, I'm able to just tell my husband, I'm like, hey, I need you to go take our 3-year old. Can you handle her so I can hurry and get some stuff done? And I do have that support system, which is great. I think it's a lot of it just comes from being raised in a big family. I think I just saw it and kind of grew up around it. So it doesn't feel like it's anything new. It actually feels normal. So when our house is quiet and I don't have all the chaos, I kind of like, what do I do? So I think it actually helps me stay organized because it's what I grew up in.
Wow, I had no idea. That makes so much more sense now.
It's actually less. I grew up with 8 siblings, so there was 9 of us kids. So having six at home is actually less.
Oh my gosh. And how does that feel, just having two less people there?
I mean, I think it's great. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I don't know, it's just what I'm used to, and I like it. It's nice having the chaos and the crazy, and then you do get those breaks of relief, and it's just like and then it's back to the grind and the life, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Fascinating. Fascinating. I like that because I know, Jana, and I hope you're okay with me bringing this up. We have had conversations in the past where we're both like, we are happy without children in our lives. And Jana, I'm curious for you, taking this from a different perspective, like how is it for you just being able to focus so much more, like just being able to focus the way you do and how you do it with being a mentor?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Marina, we're living very different lives because I had to have no kids, no pets. And I will say that, Ian, you're right. I mean, it's easier to balance things, but what it does give me is the blessing to then pass that on to my friends and family. So I spend a lot of time with my friends' kids. I go out of my way. In the last 2 weekends, I've traveled over state lines to go to be with friends who have kids, to go just be with them because my why behind everything that I do is to help mothers be more regulated so that they can pass that on to their kids so they're not snapping or yelling or being reactive. So while I don't have my own kids, they are what I drives everything I do because I just chose not to have one of my own so I could help parents to help hundreds of thousands of other kids. So I can very much have focus time. I very much get up at 5 a.m. and work till 9 and then do my thing, then go to the gym. But I think what it really gives me is the flexibility to be present when moms like Marina show up and they're like stressed out and they're like, Jane, I need an SOS call. I just need to calm down. I need someone to regulate me so that I can regulate my toddler and get back to my client. And it's like, so I think I get the honor of passing that blessing on of like, I am grounded and focused. And so I get to ground and focus other people. And then they get to pass that on to their kid, which passes it on to a friend who that's the trickle effect, right?
Right.
I love that. I love that. And for whatever reason, I just knew connecting you with Marina was like there was something in the back of my mind that was like, yes, this is a thing that should happen.
I'm curious, Marina, do you
Yeah.
take any of your entrepreneurial business strategies or systems and implement that at home with that many kids? Are you teaching them how to be entrepreneurs, or are you just letting them be who they are and grow into their own little selves?
So I think it's actually gone the other way around for me. The entrepreneurial side is actually new for me. I started my business in February of this year. So I think I've taken a lot of the strategies and the balancing a home and kids and school and sports and all of that and use that in my business. So I actually think it's the other way around.
That's awesome. Congratulations on starting your business in
Thank
February.
you.
Yeah, I think she has a pretty cool story behind it too. I don't know if you want to share that, but I thought it was pretty awesome. And then just jumping into, managing other people's finances and helping them out as entrepreneurs. I really respect
Yeah.
that. And Jennifer, I hope you're okay with me bringing this up, but I know that recently we were talking and you had some children of your own kind of like take off. Like, how is it for you now to develop into your own world of entrepreneurs?
Oh, with my babies fleeing the nest. I do
Okay.
still have one at home, but we have three that are all grown and out on their own. And it is definitely a very different feel. My baby is a freshman in high school. And so she's very independent, doing her own thing, loves just kind of hanging out and gives mom her space, which, yeah, it's a very different feel. The last time I was in this kind of an industry, um, I had littles at home. I had small children around, and it was a lot tougher. It was a lot trickier to try to fit in time. And so, yeah, with three of them out of the nest, I feel like it's a lot easier for me to focus and find the time to really dedicate to my business.
Yeah.
But yet I still have the one. And so I'm balancing the whole parenting and business. But it's a little easier now with only one at home.
Cool. Oh, I like that. It's nice to hear the different feedbacks and thoughts. Like children, no children, lack of children. This is fun. This is fun. Lynette, is there anything you'd like to add in relation to this? Because I know that coincidentally talked about children like all of you in different conversations throughout the last 6 to 8 months, and I just realized that that's
I empty nested a long time ago. My, my daughter is 35. I'm in grandma mode. So yeah. So that's where I'm at. And
nice.
so it's
Grandma
been
mode is fun too.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah, they are 13 and 11. So yeah. So it's been this what I'm doing now is kind of like my second career. Like I got out of corporate back in 2020 during COVID and took a hard right and was like, okay, universe, I know you're redirecting me to go do my purpose work as a healer. And so that's when really just started diving into all of the healing arts. And it's been a whirlwind. And I feel like I'm just now, 5 years in, like starting to like figure it out. I have a tendency to spread my energy very thin. And I'm realizing that's actually a kind of like a disservice to myself. And so I'm really realizing that I need, benefit from focusing my energy um and and really I don't know what the word is, but like taking it seriously, of like, okay, I need to really just dive in and just like do the thing. Because, when you're working an hourly wage, right, it's way different than being an entrepreneur. Just, it's just completely different animal, right? So yeah, that's my big aha in the last, week or so is just stop dividing my energy, focus and pick a path, pick a lane and do that and learning about like strategy, like marketing strategies. Like my friend was like, well, what is your marketing strategy? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Right. And so like getting clear on what my strategy is and, like all these things. And I've determined like, oh, networking is my strategy. Right. That's one of them. Right. Networking is my was one of my strategies. And then doing events is another strategy. And then social media marketing is another strategy. And what she was saying, she's like, you can have like a max of three. And so I'm like, okay, now I understand what my strategy is. So it's like evolving with learning how to be an entrepreneur because nobody teaches us how to be entrepreneurs, like, and it's not something that most people have that's just like a knack, right? Of just like, oh, I'm gonna go be an entrepreneur. It's like the school of hard knocks, let me tell you. So I don't know if you ladies can relate to that, but that's
Right
what I
there with you.
think.
Right there. Lynette, I have a book recommendation. It's something I'm actually finishing up right now called The Energy Bus. And just based on what you just said, it sounds like something you should read. It's a really great story. It's all a metaphor, and she teaches these different lessons on how to do exactly what you were saying. Is
Okay.
keep your energy bus focused, keep it
Okay.
in the right lane, only focus on those who are excited to get on your bus because we tend in entrepreneurism to like get stuck on the person who says no and rejects us. So it's a great book. I won't spoil it for you.
I am gonna read it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes. I'm curious to talk about this aspect of the energy bus because I know as entrepreneurs and getting and dealing with rejection, like how, and anyone's open to answer this, deal with rejection in a way that it just like helps to keep you moving, or is that kind of the main focus? Here are some thoughts.
Well, I'll share my thoughts because I struggled with this for a long time, Ian. I was always thinking, I can help anybody. And yeah, I probably can. And I have a big heart and I wanted to help everybody. And what I've realized is that actually I pursue rejection now because the more that I can focus on speaking who I am, what I believe so clearly, especially right now, if I can speak that so clearly, people will self-sort themselves out. Like they will say, I don't like who she is and what she believes. I don't agree. There's a million other people to go to for coaching or guidance or healing work, right? Go to them. That's totally cool. I stopped focusing on that and I just started being so me that it instantly attracts those people who are ideal clients and instantly rejects those people who are not. And so I'm able to see the red flags easier. I feel like where I was making the mistake before was eggshell walking so much, trying to be someone everybody liked, really trying to. And the more I did that, the more it watered me down. And then I couldn't tell if someone was the right fit because I wasn't giving them enough clear enough signals for them to actually decide if I was the right fit. So they didn't know and I didn't know. Now we're both confused. Now we're wasting time on sales calls. Now we're wasting time in client calls that didn't serve them because I took them on out of desperation and oh, the money, right? And so when I started just being me and speaking more to what I actually believe so clearly that I didn't care if people didn't like me. That's when I started being able to get on calls with people where it was an instant fit and the money didn't matter because they were like, no, 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 you're exactly who I have to work with, right? It didn't matter what I was saying, it was how I was saying it. My energy shifted. So I think for me, the energy bus component of like getting so clear on who I was and just being me in this world made it so much easier to face rejection because I'm like, cool, the faster I can get them to say no, the faster I can give my energy to those who really want me.
That's great.
Jana, I absolutely love that. I was going to say something very similar is I almost crave the no. And obviously you want the yes, but when you're talking to potential clients and you have someone who's hem-hawing and maybe, and I don't know, and you're trying to change who you are to make them like you so that they'll want to work with you, then you're not being true to yourself and you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time. And so I find it's almost a relief when someone says, you know what, I'm not interested. That's not really for me. And I can just say, okay, cool. Thanks for looking. And I can move on and focus my energies on people that are more drawn to me, more likely to be a good fit to work with me. So thank you, Jana. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Jana, you had actually mentioned something earlier in another conversation that we had where you were focusing on saying, I intentionally skipped out and avoided, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was like HR or something like that. You're like, I'm not going to go in that direction. So you kind of reshifted and you said, I am going to go in this direction. What helped you kind of shift to go in that direction?
It was really easy. It was the thought of being in a room with executives was draining me. Just the thought of it. I was like, that doesn't sound fun. And like nothing in me was feeling a pull. It was very much a push. And then I was like, everything. And then I had to sit and do the 7 layers of why. Why did I think HR and executives were the way to go? Well, because that's where the money is right now. Oh, why? And then why? And then why? And I really drilled down to like, I just kept coming back to the ego of it all. And I was like, well, I'm not really here to do that. So then it was like, okay, what rooms do I naturally go into without having to think about what's my strategy, right? I was already going to rooms with creatives because that's who I am. And it's like, why not just go and essentially just to what Jennifer was saying, going into rooms with HR and executives, I can very much help them, but I was changing who I was. I was changing how I was speaking. I'm like, oh, they're logical, they're literal. I have to speak like this. So I was pre-filtering myself versus when I'm in rooms with creatives, well, they think and speak just like me. So I just get to just channel, I get to be present. And those are the rooms I was already naturally going to and meeting friends. And so it made it very easy to be like, okay, well, if I'm already scheduling 3 to 4 massive 3 or 4 day events a year going to creative spaces, why not just tell myself I'm going to stop shotgunning HR executives, moms, creatives. It's like, yes, I can help everyone. Do I really want to market myself that way? Not even market it. Do I want to, when I walk away from this call, how do I want the three of you ladies who have never really had true conversations with me, when you talk to someone and say, who'd you meet on the call? How do I want you to describe me? Like that's what's important to me because that's the ripple effect that will continue when I'm not here on the planet anymore. So when I thought about, okay, great, I can help HR and I can help executives make a better ROI, pay people better. Yeah, that makes an impact. But if I can help creators feel safe in this world and then create the things that are actually on their heart and get their voices to be louder and bigger, then that ripple effect can now co-regulate every single person that watches their videos. That's a bigger impact. And that's not an ego money based impact. That's actually heart based, like, we're going to make an impact on this planet by helping people in that way. And so for me, it was as easy as like, was I getting excited about going to these HR events? No. Was I getting excited about going to creative events? Yes. Could you keep me out of these rooms? No. Why even shift it? So that was a long answer, but there you go.
I have a very similar like epiphany even just like a week ago.
Yeah.
Because when I first moved back to Wyoming in June, I was like, I'm going to join, this networking group and I'm going to promote myself doing my business and technology consulting. Okay. I have been doing that. And then it started like hitting me like with people actually talking to me about it and like wanting like me to talk about like doing these projects and stuff. And I was just like, I can't,
Mm.
I just can't. Like, I just can't. Like, it was just like exactly what you were saying. Like, even the thought of having to like work with clients and do this work, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I do not want to do that. And so my soul, like, it was just weird because I was like, well, that's where the money is. Like, exactly what you said, right? That's where the money is. But, really my passion is health and wellness and helping people feel better, right? That's my passion. And so why didn't I join, this networking group doing health and wellness? Because I felt like that's not where the money was. Right. And really, and I know this is the thing is fun. I teach this, right? But I was not following my own rules or my own recommendations of like, no, follow your passion. Like the money will follow. But I guess because the last 5 years I've been following my passion and the money wasn't following, that I was just like frustrated. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just go over here. At this point, I don't care. I just don't, right? I'm going to follow my passion and I'm just going to make it work, like it's just going to work. And now that I'm here in San Antonio with all these people here, my potential clients just expanded by like 1.5 million people. And so it should be a lot easier here than it was in Wyoming, a town of 13,000 people or 26,000 people or whatever it was. So anyways, yes, I totally feel you. I had the exact same experience like just a week ago. Like it's been crazy.
It's crazy how we all seem to be so connected, right, Lynette? Like, people on the same wavelength.
Yep.
Um, I recently, and I'll give you this just in case it helps you at all, because it sounds like you're where I was maybe like a month and a half ago. So I was feeling like really stuck because I was doing all the things. I'm like, I'm going to the events, I'm networking, I'm in the masterminds. Why is this not happening? I'm chasing it. Why can't I catch it? Right. And so I finally started to recognize, like, oh, I'm doing a lot of masculine energy right now, like a lot of the doing and a lot of the chasing. And I thought, well, how do you catch a butterfly? You don't chase it with a net. You build a rose garden and you attract it. So I had to take a step back and cut some ties. So I had to cut some of those energetic Akka connections to some people, not because they're not still friends. I just couldn't be as directly connected all the time. The moment I cut those ties, went through the forgiveness process of saying, I love you, like, but can't have this right now, setting a new boundary. Literally days later, I was attracting the very people I was seeking into my life. And it all just went from instead of externally seeking, just cutting ties, sitting with it, and internally, and the magnet turned on. So I don't know if there's any connection to an environment, people, places, or things that if you just let that connection go, you make space for those new ones that you're seeking. Could be.
I felt an energetic shift as soon as I made the decision.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
As soon as I made the decision to focus on health and wellness, it was like it it was just immediate. I felt the energetic shift. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I 100% agree. And I don't know that there's anything I need to release except for me trying to be the old person that I was, right? Like 5 years ago, or you know what I mean? Like it just releasing like that part of me, and just becoming whole and coming back to self and being like, okay, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, right? And I think that alone was the shift that is gonna shift everything. And then, like I said, just I have had people now going, I want to talk to you, I want to one-to-one to you, I like I want to, learn what you're doing, right? And I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy, so yeah, exactly what you're saying.
So update us in 6 months. I want to hear back.
I really like that. I really like that. And I want to go back a little bit to when we were talking about passion and pursuing it, because Marina, you have a really interesting twist to yours because I feel like, and make sure I'm saying this right,
Mhm.
that you were working with your husband side by side, and then you decided to, maybe you were already doing the bookkeeping for that business, but then you decided just to shift into your own business all by yourself. Like, fill me in if I missed
Yeah.
anything and help me
So
understand.
the full story,
Yeah,
it
please.
goes back to the corporate world. Both me and my husband were in mortgage. That's actually how we met. And um, with how volatile the industry is, we ended up both getting laid off. He got laid off a year before I did and decided to start his business, which was a business loan brokerage. So helping small businesses get those loans and everything so that they could grow and build their businesses. And then I lost my job a year later and decided I would just work with him. And help him in the business. So I was doing that for a while, and it got to a point where he didn't want to do the books, but he didn't want to hire someone to do the books. And so he's like, babe, will you learn how to do bookkeeping? And I was like, okay, sure. Like, why not? I'll figure that out. Sure. So I went and did a bunch of certifications and trainings and got certified and realized I loved it. That's exactly the kind of work I like to do. I like the puzzle of it and making everything match and line up and all the fun things that, having clean books looks like and those tasks. And so I decided to launch it into a business. And as soon as I made that decision, it felt great. I was super excited about it. Started doing the marketing piece, which is definitely not my favorite part. And during that time, I was doing some trainings about marketing, and I ended up listening to a training that talked about your worth, what your worth is, and made me realize that I never really put value to my time. I'm totally the DIY person. Like, oh, I can make that. Even though it doesn't really make sense for me to make that, I'm not going to go buy that. I'm just going to make it. I'm totally that person. And it came down to being that kind of person means you don't truly value your time because your time doesn't have that expense to it. And me and my husband had a big conversation about it. And he told me, he totally agreed that I don't value my time, and he very much values his time and has a high cost to his time. And I didn't. And as soon as I made that realization, it's like that energy shift happened. And with that energy shift, 2 days later from that realization, I got a call from my mom saying my aunt has somebody who needs somebody to work for them on a contract basis with a bookkeeping background, accounting background. And I had just finished all my certifications at that point and got a job doing some contract work, which I'm still finishing up right now. And that came with it came in at $105 an hour. The most I had made up until that point was 30.
That's awesome.
And so I was like mind blown. And it was seriously, as soon as that shift happened, all of a sudden it just like walked in. The opportunity presented itself the second I realized my time does have value. I am worth that. And it came in, and then ever since then I've been doing that. I've been building my business, and with building my business, I've made a huge shift into the whole mindset and creating my network of people with that same mindset and not allowing that negativity in from outside sources. And with that, it actually ended up turning into a group of other bookkeepers that I now manage as well as my business. And I go through mindset and helping everybody have that mindset to build their own businesses. So I am helping like 40 other bookkeepers right now learn the industry and learn their worth and have that mindset so that they can be successful too. And it was kind of crazy just how everything lined up. And it just like, I set up my business in February, finished my training, and landed that first contract in March. And it's just grown huge since.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what I'm hearing is there's a big piece to shifting and changing your energy. I've heard that in context. That's conversation.
Yeah.
Just in different ways.
The energy shift is huge. Like I don't believe I'd have all my clients come in the way I have without it. I put it out into the universe and set that energy. We were talking in our group, and I set a goal that I was gonna onboard a new client that week. And what ended up happening is a client that I had signed that had actually onboarded that week. And then I got calls and people had reached out to me. It was like I got like 5 clients after that week, because I had thrown out that energy that, okay, I'm ready for clients. It's time. I'm going to close them. We're going. And I didn't go find them. I didn't do anything crazy. Like everybody just found me and were like, hey, we need to work with you. And every call it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced.
Our words have such power, like literally so powerful. All we have to do is ask. I remember getting on a flight one day and just sitting next to this gentleman and somehow magically getting in a conversation. So glad. He is someone who regularly was closing $100 million deals. So I'm like asking him all these questions. He's asking about my business. And I'm like, what's the one piece of advice you can give me that would change my life forever? And he said, it's the same amount of energy to close a $100 deal as it is to close a $100 million deal. All you have to do is ask for a different number. And I'm like, whoa. So I share that to let you know, like, Marina, how different did it feel going from asking for what you said, 25 or $35 an hour to 105? How'd that feel differently energetically? I'm sure it may have, but it also may not have felt very different at all.
I think the excitement was different. I never felt so excited about somebody wanting my time for at that value. Um, but yeah, the conversation, the interview process, it was all the same.
Yeah.
There was nothing different there. It was a normal interview, a normal, yep, we'd like to work with you. We'd like to bring you on. What would, what pay are you looking for? And I didn't even give an answer. I was just like, well, I want to make sure it's definitely worth my time. And they're like, well, we need you. How does around $100 an hour? And I was like, yeah, I think that's something I could work with. And she came back and said, okay, we're going to do it at 105. And here's the contract. And I was like,
What I'm hearing you say is just stay quiet and just let
I was
them
like,
pick the price.
yeah, it, it was, it was definitely mind blowing. I was just like, I didn't even know what to ask for. At that point, I had been out of work for a year other than helping my husband with his business. And I just, again, I really think it was that energy shift because there's no way it couldn't have been. The timing is, there's no way.
I believe it.
That's awesome. I really like that. I had no idea that had happened for you in your life. And I'm really excited for you to, because you went for like a whole year and then you come back in and you get all these certifications and then you get this huge contract. And it sounds like multiple. Now you're helping all these other entrepreneurs and you have your whole family. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, you're an incredible human being.
And don't forget the kids.
For sure. Oh my gosh. Wow. 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 Can I ask, like, how do you organize your day? Or is there an organization to the day?
During the summer, I had it pretty balanced with the school year in sports. It's kind of had to shift. So, um, really, the schedule to my day is whenever I go to bed, I'll set my alarm for 7 hours and 15 minutes later. I did some sleep tests and I need 7 hours and 15 minutes. So when I go to bed, I actually set it for 7 hours and 30 minutes just to make sure I, fall asleep time. And then when I wake up, I'm a religious person, so I say my prayers, I read my scriptures, I put my headphones in and I will listen to some manifestations and I have a mantra that is a voice recording of me saying my mantra and I listen to that and just all my mind setting so that I have my head in the right space for the day. Otherwise, I realize my day is way more stressful. And when I go through that process, I have my gym set up in my basement. I go and work out, so I'm taking care of my body. And then I get ready for my day. And being an entrepreneur, I can set when my workday starts. So I don't start my workday until 10 o'clock. And so I have that time in the morning. And so I get through that. And then I start my workday and I work. And as my 3-year-old needs me, I get up and take care of her. I have gotten busier with work. So I'm working at a little bit of restructuring to where I'll take my calls and do my marketing during the day. So I'm not as tied to my computer. And me and my husband have talked and that I'll work in the evenings and he will take care of bedtime. He'll take care of dinner and bedtime so that I can work and have uninterrupted work time. So I don't have to be tied to my desk nearly as much. That way I can be present with my kids during the day.
Can I just say that you're awesome and you're amazing and you deserve some credit because I work with moms all the time who fight me on giving themselves the first part of their morning. And I'm like,
Hmm.
just give yourself the first, doesn't have to be much, 10 or 15.
No,
Sounds like you give yourself
I
a
give
good
myself
amount of
like,
time,
oh yeah, a lot
like a whole hour. Like, yeah,
or
and
more.
it's amazing to watch these mothers. I do retreats and they'll be with me for 5 days. They do my morning routine for 5 days, and they are different people because you
Oh
get an
yeah.
hour of silence, an hour of meditation, prayer, journaling, whatever that is for you. I just wanted to bring that to your attention that, like, I don't know if you know that most moms don't do that. So
Nope.
give yourself more
It was
power.
a new part of my mindset and changing everything up. And I find that if I hit a wall during the day and I'm just dragging, I grab my daughter and we go play outside and I let her run around and be crazy and I stick my feet on the ground so that I fully believe in earth grounding and getting all those out of you. And I pop in my headphones and I listen to a book that's either about mindset or business and give myself a break from work,
Yes.
but it's also like rejuvenating at the same time because it's refreshing my mindset and get me back on track for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you're tending to your nervous system, which is
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
I don't think I could do all of it without it.
No, which I'm glad is why you're talking about it. So please keep telling other mothers about this because that's
Yeah.
exactly what you should be doing.
So now I'm curious about your morning routine, Jana.
Yeah.
Mine, it's a silent morning routine for an hour. I get up and the very first thing that I do is I'll journal anything that's on the top of my mind, but then I will sit and I meditate and I envision whatever my next event is, whether it's just a 1 day or whether it's a full retreat. And so I walk through every part of my agenda so I can see it. Whatever it is I'm manifesting, pulling towards me, I like to experience it visually, like as much as real as I can make it in my head. And then directly after that, I start to journal and I will just free write. So anything that comes through me. And then I always finish with like a journal prompt. A lot of times I like to write, I am worthy of, and fill in the blank afterwards and just repeat and try and get 10 different ones. I'm experimenting with a new prompt recently. I am safe because. And so writing down all the reasons why I'm safe, because we're in a world that's starting to touch those hot buttons. And so I'm like, I just reminding myself every day of that right before I go on with my day. And then I go right into work. My brain works really well in the morning, so I dive right into work after that. And of course, I go to the gym after like 10 or 11 o'clock.
See, and
I wait
I
till my
can't do
body's
that.
awake.
I can't gym at the night. I gotta gym in the morning or
Oh,
I won't
no.
get to it.
I lift really, really, really heavy. So my nervous system shuts down after I train. So if I don't work before I go to the gym, I will get nothing done in my day.
Oh, see, and I'm opposite. I can lift super heavy and my body's like, yeah, get it. And so then I'm good for the day.
To each their own. Do you
Yep.
know what your human design is?
I don't.
Oh, okay. We won't get into that too deep unless there's someone else here who wants to geek out with me. But I know I'm a projector, and perfect, Lynette. I'm a projector, which basically what that means is that oftentimes we have to manage our energy really well. So projectors work really well with like working in a 4 hour sprint and then taking time to go away to move their body and then coming back and working again. So I just build my schedule around my energy. And so you can go online, just search my human design and just type in your day, like it's your name, your birth date, time of birth, and location, like city and state. It'll tell you, just screenshot the picture and images and stuff, put that in ChatGPT and say, tell me more about this. And then just double check that it has all the facts right, because sometimes it'll throw you a curveball and be like, no, it says this. And then after that, you could start to ask it more questions about it because I'm not a huge, I wouldn't be able to decode it for you. Maybe Lynette can. But I know that ChatGPT has helped me understand a lot. And I use it with all my clients now because it helps me understand how to task them properly within working within their energy systems. Because if it tells me that they need to go with guttural yes and no's, then I'm going to tell them to lean into their intuition. And if it tells me like it'll just give you insights. And so I like to read it to my client. I get their consent. And then usually they're like, yeah, let's do it. Sounds fun. So we'll read through it. And then it's always kind of giving them that second level of like, oh, that is who I am. That is how I work. it let me know that like you're supposed to experience life and then teach people through telling your story. And I'm like, cool, that's what I naturally do. That's what my content online is, and it performs the best. So I'm not going to try and do some other content strategy. That's what works for my energy centers. So I see you're off on a tangent now. You're going to be in a loophole with this, but it's a fun one. You'll learn a lot about yourself.
I live human design. Yeah, and I do readings. As a matter of fact, I'm doing an event tomorrow and I'm gonna do human design readings. I'm not an analyst, like official analyst, but I know enough. I've been studying it for like 15 years. So yeah,
Very cool.
it's I know a lot about human design. So yes. I'm a generator. I just go, 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 go. So
Oh,
yeah, I got
can
that
you, would you
source.
mind just saying what the top, like the three main ones are so that I don't just confuse people by just talking a little bit about it?
Yeah, so generators are like 75% of the population, and they are the builders of society. And so they are what makes society go. The projectors are, I think, like 20%, I think, of society, and the projectors are the guides. And so they are here to guide the energy of the generators. And then you have manifestors, and manifestors are your salespeople. They're the only ones that can initiate, and they are the ones who actually come up with what society should look like. So they are typically the business owners, and then they task the things to do to the generators, and then the projectors are your like your analysts and stuff like that, right? And then reflectors are the shamans. And so they are the ones who are literally reflecting back everything that like kind of like hits them. And then you've got the manifesting generators, which is a combination of the manifestor and the generator energy. And the manifesting generators, they have this unique blueprint where they are definitely a generator and that they are here as builders, but they also have that manifestor energy. And so they uh are definitely more like visionary and have that energy of can initiate more than just a plain generator. Generators have to wait to respond. Projectors need to wait for the invitation. Um, so there's a
Yeah.
lot to it. And so knowing your human design is so beneficial, like so beneficial. Like I love it. I live it
Same.
and teach it because it's just so powerful. So yeah, we'll have to
Fun, no?
do yours one time, Ian. We're gonna have to run your human design
Yeah.
profile.
And you
Mine
know,
says projector the seer.
Oh,
whoa.
very
That's
yeah.
awesome, Marina. That's me too. Yeah, so we'll have to talk a little bit more privately, and I'll tell you about how it shows up for me in a lot of ways. But unprivately, here publicly, I'll say that one of the main things as a projector I found is I must be first recognized, then invited. So I'll tell you how I didn't follow this pattern in my life and how it really messed me up is that I went to get a certification in neurolinguistic programming, learning about language and how do people rewire their mind and all the things, right? And I was like, I love this company. It changed my life. I want to speak on their stage. So for 2 years, I got really good at it. And then I went back and got certified as a trainer. And at that training, I was really making it known to them that like I want to work here. I want to teach here. And I'm a really good speaker. They ended up hiring me straight out of that training. I was the first person in 41 years to ever get hired straight out of that training. And I was so excited. I was on the top of the world. And I'm like doing this and doing this, and my body is starting to tell me, this is not for you. And it was because I pushed my way into that opportunity. I was not invited into that opportunity. And so it went downhill. Another time I did the same thing. I pushed myself into something, and my eyes swelled up with eyelid eczema and nearly swelled shut because my body was like, no, this is not for you. Please stop. And that's my body shows me through pain. And it's like a reoccurring theme. If you ever know my story, I've had 7 cysts on my vulva across a 10-year period of time because I wasn't listening to my body. And um, so all this to say, like as a projector, you will find, Marina, that you're going to do better if you just sit, vibrate, and let people come to you. Let them notice your magic. Let them invite you to an opportunity. On the flip side, it's like the moment I started turning on the magnetism and turned off the masculine, I started to get more opportunities and was asked to speak at the Empowered Podcasting Conference in 2 weeks to deliver a workshop. Previous to this, for 7, 8 months, I had been applying to speak at all these different events and denied, denied, denied because I was seeking them. But as a projector, they noticed, they came and asked me. Now, this is an amazing opportunity. It's like knowing your energetic profile with human design can help make sense of the world. It's not going to give you the blueprint of path to follow, but it will help make sense of. The other thing is, I know I'm an activator. Hi. So people either love me or hate me. So it's just something I have to know. And it's like, cool. So there's nothing I can do about it. I used to think, did I say something wrong? Oh, was it me? I must have. I was like, a big personal responsibility person. So I kept trying to until I realized, oh no, I'm just an activator. And that's what I'm meant to do. I'm here to light people up so that they can heal and move forward in their life. And if I don't do that, I'm not serving. So just knowing that you have these things in your human design helps make sense of like, cool, I can accept I'm just gonna piss people off and that's all right with me. It's okay with me, right? Because if I'm not pissing people off, I'm not living my ethos. I'm not here in my purpose, right?
It's huge for the projectors. Like, this is one of the things I love about human design is when I sit down with like teenagers and I go over, especially ones that are struggling, and I go over the human design profile and I'm like, oh, you're a projector. Okay. Right. And so, and then, or you're a manifester, because those are the two that really struggle, right? Because projectors need to wait for the invitation, and manifestors have this like closed and repelling aura.
Yeah.
And so it makes them kind of prickly, but it's there for a reason. It's a protective like mechanism to protect their energy, but it can repel people. And so for them to understand like, oh, well, your superpower is that you actually get to initiate. So you're the type of person that can pick up a phone and make a sales call, and the other person on the other end is going to actually listen to you. Whereas if I tried that, or if a projector tried that, they're going to be like, yeah, not interested.
Yes.
Right. And so each blueprint has their own superpower. Right. And so, yes, waiting for the invitation, or for generators, wait for something to respond to. And for manifestors, it's to inform, right? The manifestors are here to inform. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, we could go on for days.
I
And
know we really could.
there's so much to it. There's so much to it. So yeah.
It's like the other, and I'm just gonna keep talking because Ian's moving places right now. The other thing that got me, Lynette, was the satisfaction versus frustration was me for like when things are in alignment in my life, I feel super satisfied. But when things are out of alignment, I feel super frustrated. When I read that on my I was like, those are the exact words that I use. Like literally when I'm mad about something, I'm like, I'm frustrated. And it's like, oh, it's cool to like see how this plays out and just understand like that to me is just language to listen to. It's like just hearing myself say something. Just like I tell my clients when they're trying to figure out, so I talk a lot about the masculine and feminine energies. These energies rule our entire universe. So helping people understand how they play in their business and their relationships. And when I'll be telling people, how to sense what energy they're in, I'm like, listen to your language. If you're saying, I think, logical, mind, masculine. I feel, I know. I feel, I know. That's all feminine, heart centered. And so if you just listen to your language, you can just hear yourself. And so, like in my own business, I tell my team members if you hear me say I think more than 2 times in a row, stop me because we're here to be heart centered, not head centered. Right. And so, like, I want to make decisions from I know this is what my clients need right now, or I feel this is really what's going to get them what they want. The moment I say, well, I think this is going to too much brain, move the energy down, just like 4 inches, do a little bit of work, come on now, just boom. So,
Yep. That's really good advice. Really good advice. Because I am definitely all in my head for sure. I haven't defined ajna. I am, definitely ajna in human design is the mind. So
yes.
in defined means that it's I'm projecting out from that center. Whereas if I had an open, like undefined mind, then I would be receiving in that center. And so, anyways, human design speak.
I gotta geek out with you about this later.
I love this. I love this. I love this. And Jennifer, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this because earlier you had just mentioned that, I'm an introvert and I was getting into networking because it helps extrovert me. Like, how does this conversation affect you or help you think about things?
Well, for one, I have no clue what human design I am. But I know for me, when I'm out there, if I'm not, so like for example, if I'm trying to get someone to be interested in the product that I'm working with, if I'm just going out there and I'm like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this, it almost never works. They are not interested in hearing that. But if I go to the person and I'm like, hey, I noticed that you've been really focusing on this in your life, and I connect to the person first on a logic, not a logical, on a heart level, like you were saying, Jane. I move out of my head and down into my heart. When I focus more on them, and I really drill down into what makes them tick and not think about me and how I could benefit from this, but think about how this could benefit them. That's where I start to see my success. That's where I see people come to me. So, for example, like if I'm following up with someone who I started a conversation, they seemed like they were interested, but they're busy, they have life, this is top of their mind. If I keep coming back at them like, hey, have you thought about this? Hey, have you looked at this? No. Come back and just that starting with, how's it going? How are you? Anything you need? Always they'll be. I
Hey,
didn't
Jennifer,
look at this.
I think your mic is picking up some feedback, maybe.
It's clicking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's clicking. Okay. I think it's better now.
Try again.
Yeah, it's
Nope,
back again.
still. The clicking is back.
I think it's your microphone. I don't know why.
Maybe try to set it to, there's another audio pick that you can choose from where it can be just from the computer itself. I don't know if you're already on your headphones or not.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no
Yes.
clicking. This is
Is that better?
amazing. I like your voice
Okay, sorry
way
about
more
that.
like this.
Oh, wait, I guess I have to still hear you here though.
Okay, great. What were you saying?
So okay, so I'm not sure how much of that you caught, but basically the point I was getting to is when I'm out there projecting that I love and care for the people that I'm talking to, and I'm more concerned about what their needs are, they almost always come back around to my ask. And they're willing to look at the products or the business or whichever because they feel cared for, because they feel that I'm not looking at them as a dollar sign, I'm looking at them as a person and that I want to actually help them. So that's how I use my energy.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would describe that as how I fit into all of your different positions, but it's definitely if I'm projecting the wrong energy, it absolutely does not work for me at all.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's an intuitive, and she actually just got that exact kind of like message for one of her clients. And she was sharing it with me. She's like, FYI, we need to take note of this. And it's pretty much the exact same thing that you just said, right? That people that are in our field, like people that come to us, are wanting our energy, right? It's our vibration, it's our messaging, our whatever, our secret sauce, whatever it is. That's why they're coming to us. And so focus on that, right? Focus on the fact that they are getting something from us. What is it? It's whatever we're providing, whatever service we're providing. And to not focus on the money and focus on the benefit to them. Because really that's why they're in front of us is because we can help them in some way, shape, or form.
Jennifer, what products
Absolutely.
do you get to share with people?
I'm in a health and wellness company, so products that help them feel better in all of the ways.
So especially in health and wellness, they can get that from anywhere, but who do they get that actually cares? And I think that's what you're bringing to the table is like
Yeah.
they have people throw in lotions and potions and pills and things then left and right. But I think what you're bringing is someone who actually looks forward to seeing them and walking on the journey and seeing them on the other side of this versus someone who's just wants the paycheck on the other side of it. And I think that's
Absolutely.
palpable. That's something people feel.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and when they feel like you're suggesting something to them because you can see how it's going to make them feel better, it's going to make their life better, then they're more interested in what you have to sell than if you're just like, hey, guess what? I get a commission if you buy this.
Yeah.
Okay, big deal, you know? So, yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Nice, good show.
So Jennifer, you and I have lots to chat about, so we should definitely connect.
Absolutely.
And Jana, I'd love to geek out on human design and hear about the rest of what you do too. So yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Fantastic.
Marina's like, don't leave me out. Let me
I know,
pop back
right?
in here.
I'm sorry.
We'll need to have just another call.
It just got me going because we
Just
are
in
in
the
the
rabbit
midst
hole.
of 3 teenagers. And so I'm really curious about this design stuff because I think that could help a ton on how to help your child when they're struggling.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. And
There's
there's actually books on
Yeah.
that.
I was gonna say there's a company that will print out a manual for each family member. If you just feed it your human design, it'll print out a manual for like how to talk to them, how to deal with them. So there's companies that do this kind of stuff. Just search it. I know I get Instagram ads for it all the time, so it's out there. They basically just take your human design, and a lot of these companies, when they give it to you, will give you like a 20-something page document to tell you about yourself. But this company essentially takes it and writes it to people to read the book about that person. So how do you speak to this person? How do you deal with them? How do they take rejection? And it's probably something that you'd enjoy, having just a shelf of all the family
Oh,
members
yeah.
and just be like, let me just see. Page 56 says.
We're in the midst of every child is so different, and how do you discipline them different? So because like one, she is 100%, I will do what I want and I will ask for forgiveness later. I'm not gonna ask permission because you're gonna tell me no, so I'm just gonna go do it. So, those fun things.
I gentle parent and the FAFO parent at the same
Yep.
time.
I had 3 teenagers all at once too, so I feel you, Marina.
Yeah, see, and my husband, he was such a good teenager. He did what his parents told. Yeah, he did a little things to get in trouble, but not really. And I did all the things. And I was a terrible teenager. And so I can see it, and I'm just like, like we're in trouble.
They tell you you'll clone yourself, but they forget to tell you that the clone actually acts like you also.
You're right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. The world of children. The thing that I love about this is how each of you can connect and relate on the topic of having a child, and then Jana, also how you're able to understand the aspects of children because you've worked with so many mothers that it makes it a little bit different in a way. Like, how do you feel being able to connect with mothers without actually having like your own children, so to speak?
I do everything that I can to not use the word understand because I'll never actually understand what
Okay.
mothers go through. I have read a lot of research. I have read a lot of parenting books. I have been a part of things you ladies don't know. My partner is 27 years older than me. I've been with him for 10 years. So I do have a 9-year-old granddaughter. So it just wasn't birthed by me and I wasn't the blood, but I've been here for the whole time. So I do get to have those parts and pieces. But I'll never fully understand, right? I mean, just this last weekend, I got to go surprise a girlfriend for her birthday and stay for a day and a half with her and her husband and their 2 kids and their 2 dogs. And we had 2 other friends join us and another dog. And so the house is just all these people. As someone who's perpetually alone, other than when I go to the gym, it was a lot. And I got overstimulated and I was like, I get it now. Like when moms tell me they're overstimulated, they don't want to be touched, they don't want to hear things, they can't process. I think about being at a convention and being there, but like I get it now. Like the kids are crawling on me, the dogs are barking, the things are happening. I'm trying to send a text message. And so to answer you, like, I'll never understand, but I do my very best to put myself in shoes to where I can try to get still tidbits. But what I do get is I understand suffering. That's one thing I do understand. I understand baggage and I understand passing suffering and baggage on to your children. And so I don't think I need to understand the ins and outs of actually being a mother, but being able to understand how to not pass this on to your kids is enough for me to be able to be an impact on moms that I don't think they care, that I don't know. What they know is that I care, and that's all they care about. So it's like, I don't need to know how to be a mom. I just need to care about moms. And that's kind of where I've always been. And like, if you just,
Mhm, mhm.
I don't know, just let me borrow your kid for a few days. And if you need, if you think I need to like screw my head on better, like, but I've been very hands-on with all my nieces and nephews and friends. And I'm an auntie to so many kids.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that because I didn't have the full understanding of how that all related, so I appreciate it. Cool. Well, I love this conversation. I love how it's turned out and where it is going or maybe has gone. Is there anything else that anybody wants to share? Because I feel like we're at such a good point, but I also want to make it available if anybody wants to ask anybody else a certain question or anything like that, to feel free to do so.
I think we're good.
Cool.
Complete.
Okay, great. Complete. We did it. Oh my gosh. And it was 1 hour and that was amazing. Okay, fantastic. What I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna cut this part of the audio off of the recording and I'm just gonna switch it over to the it sounds like all of us want to connect. Is that what I'm hearing? That's what I basically okay, I'm getting everyone's head nodding. Great. Okay, good. Then I think what's gonna be easiest, let me make sure I can do this. Is I'm gonna start a group chat. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do new group, and then I'm gonna do channel. And, and, Jennifer, are you on WhatsApp?
I am not on WhatsApp.
Ah, okay, that's fine.
Sorry, guys.
Spoiled your plan.
It's okay. I had to get on it and I don't even know. I'm like, I always forget to go back in there.
It's all good. It's all good. I have multiple ways that I can do this. All right. Oh,
I just led I'm becoming a tantra speed date facilitator.
what does that even mean? That sounds interesting.
And I did my first event on Sunday in Houston, and I've never, I shouldn't say never. My nervous system was so blown out after that event because trying to manage 22 adults who won't shut up. I
They have a very fiery energy in a space like that, I'm sure.
I would think so.
my whole nervous system was shot. I didn't even know that was possible for me because I don't think I've ever experienced it. But like all of a sudden, because my best friend's an empath and she's a tantra speed day facilitator, which is how I even found out about it. And she would talk about her nervous system being blown out. I'm like, well, of course you're an empath, right? I'm not an empath, right? Like, okay, maybe just a little bit, right? But not like her, right? She's absorbing all the energies.
Ugh,
My
I
nervous
do that. It's the worst.
it was I was like, this is what that feels like. So what you were saying about the moms, right? Having their nervous system like just like don't touch me type of thing. I can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't even know it was possible. I didn't even know it was possible because it was my first time.
Yeah.
I had never done it before, right? I had multiple interruptions. I had to stop and start ceremony multiple times. And I had all these adults who just would not shut up and listen to me. I'm just so yeah, even the next day, my nervous system was still shot. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I need to go home and ground. I need to do body code on myself. Like I need to I'm just like
Pulling out tuning forks,
right
ding,
for
like
real. Exactly.
on the
Singing,
plane,
you know,
like
whatever I got to do. Like it was intense. That's all I gotta say. It was intense.
Great. Okay,
So
good.
that must be what Marina, that must be what you feel like if you don't do your grounding and meditation and
I,
prayer, all that.
it makes all the difference. Like I can totally tell if I haven't been outside in a few days because I've been busy and stuck at my desk. I'm just like crawling out of my skin. I'm like, okay, I need to go outside. My husband's like, how can you be barefoot all the time? I'm like, how can you not?
Yeah.
He has to wear shoes all the time, and I'm like, no, barefoot everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well, I'm living in a house with seven of us now, which I've never done before. So I
Ugh.
moved back to San Antonio and I'm living with my daughter and my son-in-law and my two grandkids. And then my
No.
ex-husband and his wife moved in. And so
Oh
now
no.
there's seven of us and let's see, one, two, four dogs and a cat. And so I'm just like,
Ooh,
okay. But
My
that's a
ex-husband
lot.
was an only child, and so we'd do family get-togethers, and we'd have all my siblings, all nine of us, and spouses and kids, and I think there's like I don't know, there's a lot of us, and he would leave, and he's like every time I'm like he's like, how do you deal with this? I'm like, this is normal. What are you talking about? He's like, only child.
yeah. Yep.
He
Yeah.
couldn't handle being with my family for very long. It was super funny.
Imagine. A lot of people, a lot of energies, especially if you're not used to being around them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, to try to find my birth certificate so I can make sure I have my time of birth right for this thing, and I can't find it. I have everybody else's. I have everybody's birth certificate but mine, so it fell somewhere. I gotta go find it.
Time of day is very important. So when you're running your chart, it's very, very important because you could literally by like 1 minute change
Be
from
off, right? That's why I wanted to go look to make sure I was doing my kids because I know when they were born.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lynette, correct me if I'm wrong. If you don't know your time, you would just put 12:01 a.m., correct?
I mean, you can use any time you want because it's all going to be potentially inaccurate, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what I tell people is, do you know roughly like were you born in the evening? Were you born in the
Oh
morning?
yeah.
Were you born in the middle of the afternoon?
I can't
Like
remember if it was
dinner time.
1:23 or 1:34 in the afternoon. It was one of those, but I
That's
can't
close
remember which
enough.
one.
That's close
That's
enough.
that's close enough.
Okay.
And I can tell in my app because there's a little slider that
Oh, okay.
I can tell when it changes over. And
Mm.
Okay.
so it really is helpful for me to see. I'm like, okay, so if you're born within this window, you're good, right?
Hmm.
I'll know, if you're born, around 8:45 in the morning, okay, we're good.
Oh
Like
yeah. No, I was born around 1:30. I just couldn't remember exactly. It's like
yeah,
1:23, 1:34, something like that.
I know
you're
I
good.
did I did Tom's, my partner's, and both of his parents are not with us anymore. So he's like, I don't have anyone to go to in my birth certificate and say, I was like, I'm just gonna put 12:01. And it was accurate. So I don't overthink it,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I
I'm
totally
excited to
overthink
hear once you
everything.
find it though. So once you plug it in.
Well, so mine would still be that then, because I put in 1:30. I
Okay.
put in 1:34, so
Yeah.
it'd be accurate.
The
Hmm.
thing that most people mess up when they're putting their information in the human design profile systems is they don't. So some of the systems are military time, and so
Mm.
if you don't switch it over to like 1301,
Hmm.
and you just
Oh.
put in like 6:35 or whatever time it is, but you don't switch it to military time and do 1835, that'll
Yeah.
mess it all up. So you got to be
Oh.
really careful with
How do you know?
well, each system will have if it clearly says AM or PM, then you're good.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, then but some systems are military time and
Mm.
if you don't do it in military time, and miss that part, then it can mess it up. So yeah.
That
Then it
makes
will
sense.
assume it's morning no matter what.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
funny.
That has messed me up more times than I can. Yeah.
Fun times, fun times.
Oh, I'm gonna
Cool.
play with this so much.
That's awesome.
It's
So
gonna
good. It's
it's
so
gonna
good.
take over my whole day.
You can, because your profile, you'll say, okay, oh, I'm a projector. Okay. So then you can say, what does it mean to be a projector? Do you know what your profile is? Like 246235.
Hold on. Mine's down. I was looking at my kids now.
Sorry,
So you can
sorry.
basically look up 51 projector, so on and so forth, So
Okay. Yeah. So where's my download?
I feel like I'm going to be interrupting this conversation. I apologize about
It's
that.
fine.
Awesome. I do need to take off. Does anybody else want to host this call so that way I can leave and everybody else can still keep
I can help.
connected?
That's fine. You can
Okay,
move it to
cool.
me.
You know what's funny about this is Josh Buss introduced me to you,
Yeah.
and Josh does the
Me
exact
too.
same thing.
Josh is how I got introduced to you too.
That's awesome. Josh
I
is
love Josh. He's
fantastic.
such a sweetheart.
He really is.
Yes, he is. It's so funny how I met. So we met
Yeah.
on a Facebook group,
Okay.
and he's a truck driver, and he was
Yep.
driving across Wyoming. And I was living in Wyoming right along his route. And I was like,
No
hey,
way.
we should meet for dinner. It was just funny because he was doing the patches,
Yeah.
right? He does the patches. And so we ended up meeting for dinner in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Nice.
And he was showing me the patches. And it was really good. And then we actually met up one other time when he was passing through, and he got stuck in a snowstorm and ended up in Rock Springs like overnight. So we
Mm.
hung out. And so, yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. He's and he's such like a interesting personality. I rarely run across with people that are like, oh, you remind me of Josh. Like he's a very like himself type of guy.
Hi, wild woman.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
It was a blast meeting all of you ladies tonight. I really do.
Yes,
I
it
had
was.
such a
Sorry.
great one. I will
No,
be
no, let
reaching
go.
out to
What is
all
it?
of you.
Fantastic.
Yes, definitely. I
Wait,
look
that
forward to
Sounds good.
connecting with each of you.
Cool.
You.
Cool.
Yes,
Bye.
definitely.
Alrighty, cheers.
All right. Bye.